This is a thought experiment. Let's say at some point in not so distant future, you are barreling down the highway in your self-driving car and you find yourself boxed in on all sides by other cars. Suddenly, a large object falls off the truck in front of your car. The car can't stop in time to avoid the collision. So it needs to make a decision. Go straight and hit the object, or swerve left into an SUV which has a higher crash safety rating, or swerve right into a motorcycle. Should it prioritize your safety by hitting the motorcycle, minimize danger to others by not swerving, even if it means hitting the large object and sacrificing your life? Or the middle ground by hitting the SUV which has a higher passenger safety rating? So what should the self-driving car do? If we were driving that boxed-in car in manual mode, whichever way we would react would be understood as that would be just a reaction, not a deliberate decision. But if a programmer were to instruct the car to make the same move given the conditions, it may seem it might have been a malicious move, or it could be deemed to be a homicide. Now, to be fair, self-driving cars are predicted to be much more safer, and they are supposed to reduce fatalities by removing human errors from the driving equation. Plus, there may be all sorts of benefits, including eased road congestion, decreased harmful emissions, and minimized unproductive and stressful driving time. But accidents can and will still happen, and when they do, their outcomes may be determined months or years in advance by programmers or policymakers, and they will have some difficult decisions to make. It's tempting to offer up general decision-making principles like minimize harm, but even that quickly leads to morally murky decisions. For example, let's say we have the same initial setup, but now there are two motorcycles, one motorcyclist wearing a helmet to the left and one motorcyclist on the right which is not wearing a helmet. Let's say the self-driving car hits the biker without the helmet. Then isn't that offering street justice? Or let's say the self-driving car hits the motorcycle with the helmet. Then aren't we punishing a motorcyclist who is following the rules and regulations? In both ways, whatever the decision the algorithm of the self-driving car takes is systematically biased towards on one object or the other. And these kind of decisions are quite ethically murky. Our new technologies are opening up many other novel ethical dilemmas. For instance, if you had to choose between a car that would always save as many lives as possible in an accident, or one that would save out at any cost, which would you buy? What happens if the cars start analyzing and factoring in the passengers of the car and articulates the lives that could be saved in the case that a random decision needs to be made? Could it be that a random decision is still better than a predetermined decision which has been designed to minimize harm? And who should be making all of these decisions? Will it be the programming companies or the governments? However, reality may not play out exactly like our thought experiments. But that's not the point. They are designed to isolate and stress test our intuitions on ethics. Just like science experiments do for the physical world, spotting these moral hairpin turns now will help us maneuver the unfamiliar road of technology, ethics, and allow us to cruise confidently and consciously into our brave new future. As robots become more and more part of our daily lives, a question arises: what code of ethics must these robots follow? This is particularly true for autonomous robots that are asked to make their own decisions. Robot ethics is an interdisciplinary research effort that aims to understand and ethically map out the implications of robotics and answer that question for all of us. Researchers from areas as diverse as robotics, computer science, psychology, law, philosophy, and etc. are uniting forces to ponder upon the question and seek an answer. Initially, the main focus was on military robots since they have the power to use lethal force. But since then, the area has expanded to all kinds of robots, especially to all those that interact with humans. According to the International Federation of Robotics, in 2017, World Robot Statistics saw 74 robots employed per 1,000 humans. As the average global robot density in manufacturing industries, this was significantly higher than the 66 units per 1,000 average reported in 2015. This makes it even more important that the ethics of how robots are used be clarified. One way to tackle the issue is with writer Isaac Asimov's 1942 Three Laws of Robotics. The three laws of robotics are as follows. First law, a robot may not injure a human being through inaction or allow a human being to come to harm. Second law, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first law or the second law. We hope that these laws will always be followed in the future robots that human beings will conceive, so that robots are never meant to harm humans in any way possible.